Hey guys, if we reach 1,000 likes, we'll be giving out 2 of our new shirts. All you gotta do is click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And what's up guys, it's me, Faith, Moliminous, and waifu is a term that is thrown around in this fandom a lot. This is a fandom of waifus. Just like the Toho community, just like the Vocaloid community, I think they're called. We have a lot of characters that we gravitate to. We do kind of have a hierarchy. So I thought, in honor of that, let's go ahead and count down the top 10 waifus of the fandom. Keep in mind, this is my list. You don't have to like my list by any means, but I don't have to like the same characters as you. That being said, feel free to suggest who you thought should have been on this list in the comments down below. I'm sure you will. This will also not include any of the obvious ones that I would choose. Sunset, Trixie, and Adagio are completely out of this list. Don't worry, I know you guys probably figured I would have put those as like number 1, 2, and 3. As well, the main 6 have been removed from this list. That'd be way too easy, let's be honest. The main 6 would probably be all 6. But without further ado, here we go. Number 10, Azaer Valère. I have no idea how to actually say this, but I figured if I said it fancy enough, no one would actually notice that I have no idea what the hell I'm saying. But anyway, this is one of the 3 dancers from the Saddle Row review. I'm not sure about you guys, but the hat and jacket kind of remind me a lot of Terry from King of Fighters. This pony is also just an aesthetic one, not really having any true personality. Even Derpy at least had some corresponding actions in the show to link up with what we gave her. I'm not sure exactly which came first, but I do know that was one of the things. I know she stood out because of her derp eyes, and she said muffin, so that became a huge part of her personality. We did kind of brand that character, all because of one word that she said in a crowd of other people who were saying the same exact word. You gotta love this fandom. Number 9, the Countess. So it actually took me a while to realize, like, I knew this was parodying Gaga, but I didn't know Gaga now went by the Countess because I don't listen to a lot of her music. I mean, that's not to shit on Gaga, obviously Gaga slaves. Yes, girl, yes! But she apparently changed her name on Twitter to the Countess. I'm not sure if that's an ego trip. I don't get it. Whatever, she can do her. Obviously, it's working for her. But the Countess character here is actually an amazing one. I really enjoyed the song that she had. I wish it would have been fully complete. The first song that she has, it's all the poppy synth stuff. That was amazing to me. I really liked it. I liked it way more than the acoustic and piano stuff she did. Not to downplay the skill that goes into that, but I really did enjoy that. She also had a more unique look to her when she was the Countess. It was obviously more flamboyant than a lot of the other ponies, but that's because she's an entertainer. But that, with her personality, everyone kind of gravitated to her. She's so low on the list because she is kind of really a secondary character. I mean, she's a main character in that episode. I don't know, she's kind of an obvious choice, so I didn't want to put her too high on the list. She just felt like she was too front and center. But that is our number 9 spot. Number 8, Nurse Redheart. Nurse Redheart is actually a very nicely designed pony that often is overlooked simply because she is a nurse, and they are often associated with shots. And let's face it, this fandom's a bunch of man-children, and no child wants to have a shot. But she's often also portrayed as the cynical nurse who's fed up with the town's lack of common sense when it comes to not being hurt. When you live in a town with Rainbow Dash, I'm sure you have daily visits from her doing some sort of ridiculous stunts, not to mention the CMC and whatever else the other town people get up to. I mean, you have Derpy running around, so that's a constant visit, I'm sure. I believe there's even a really popular fanfiction story all about her detailing the events that take place in the hospital regarding all the citizens. It's pretty great. I recommend you totally go check it out. I'll probably link it down in the description if I can remember to do so, and if I remember what it's called. I think it's Journal Entries for Nurse Redheart. I'm sure if you type that into Google, it will come up. You have the internet, look it up. Number 7, Colgate. Keeping the trend of professions children hate, Colgate is another person who often tries to put some common sense into these poems. As I've said before, these poems have no goddamn sense. Shout out to Shawtycast. Let's face it, a town that has a sugar confectionery place as their main restaurant probably doesn't give a shit about dental hygiene. Either that or they're British. But I mean, really, what's the difference? Wait, man, I'm offended by that joke, I am. I kid, Brits. I love you. I do. I honestly do, mates. I really do. Anyways, Colgate has had tons of animations about her. The fandom obviously loves her. She also goes by the name Minuet. I believe that's her actual official show credit. There might be some sort of copyright issues with the term Colgate, especially since she's supposed to be like a dentist or something. So that could be a copyright issues, and that's why she's Minuet. But her hair does obviously look like a toothpaste. It looks like someone squeezed out toothpaste on a brush, and that's her hair. That's probably where her name came from. But she does have this weird contrast with her name and her cutie mark, which is an hourglass, which has led to some interesting stories, like her being another doctor, as in Time Lord. And that is interesting. I don't know. It could be fun. I've read some stories that are actually really interesting where they play into that dynamic. If you're into Doctor Who, I'm sure that's great for you. If you're not, I'm sure that sounds just bloody retarded. Number 6, Sweet Biscuit. Alright, so when I say Sweet Biscuit, you guys probably don't know who I'm talking about, but when you see the pictures, you probably recognize her. I think she's been in a lot of stuff, but I think her most prominent role was in the Buckball season. And you can see her, she's got the golden wavy mane. It's just like, it kind of gives you feels of Button's mom's design. Whatever it is that is captured in there, it's just some sort of feeling of just this motherly presence. And then there's also this feeling of a MILF as well. There's very two extremes, and it depends on the person on which side they're leaning on. Either way, her hair is a golden, wavy, voluminous bundle of hair. And it's just, her character design is great. It even has remnants of what Tara Strong's character seems to be, her little OC that she has. So maybe that's also another reason why the fandom gravitated to her. But she just has that look. I don't know what it is, but she certainly has it. Number 5, Pacific Glow. Another dancer pony. She's the Miku looking kind of one with the pacifier hanging down from her neck. She certainly seems like she enjoys a good rave. She's definitely a party pony if I've ever seen one, and she's probably more in line with Vinyl Scratch than any other person on this list. She definitely hasn't had any speaking roles, but you can pretty much gauge her personality from the scenes that we've seen of her. She's a very vibrant, very social pony. She doesn't seem to be anything that's dark, moody, etc., etc. She seems to be very happy. In fact, she kind of lines up with Pinkie Pie. I believe they meshed well even in the show. There was also, interestingly enough, there was a fight over what she should be called. I saw it unfold live on Derpy Buru. People were going down in mass, changing all the tags of images of her to another name, and other people were coming back and rechanging it, and it was just a mess. I guess maybe the mods just eventually locked it at Pacific Glow, and now she is now known forever as Pacific Glow. But that was an interesting time period. I definitely enjoyed that. That was the first time I've seen people fight so hard over a name, and it wasn't like the entire fandom, but it was the dedicated few who give us these names, you know? I even threw my hat in there, and I think it was for the other side. I don't remember rooting for Pacific Glow. I can't for the life of me remember what the other name was. But there was two, and that was a fun little time. Probably not for the mods. Probably not for the mods at all, I'm sure. Number 4. So this is Cayenne. It's a Pepper's name, I guess, as well, which I guess makes sense for her cutie mark, which is 2 peppers and kind of like a 69 position on her butt. I think I've made fun of this pony because I've been like, well, that's one spicy butt. We don't actually really have a job for this pony, but her personality does seem to be very sarcastic, very snarky. So I guess it kind of in lines with her cutie mark. Like, she's got a very fiery, sarcastic personality. It makes sense, you know, but there's no main storyline with her. She's just a cute pony with probably one of the most distinctive haircuts, I'd say. We've seen a lot of ponies with the voluminous hair that's just like really flowy and stuff like that. Very full, very buoyant. But we didn't really have anyone with such a very avant-garde, I guess, hairstyle. It's very sharp edges. And MLP usually favors very rounded curves and stuff like that. They're very round. And their designs, this is very symmetrically cut, very sharp angles. Number 3, Berry Punch. Berry Punch is one of my waifus, especially if you're talking about back in the day. She is definitely my favorite background character that I've seen. Trixie, I wouldn't really call a background character anymore. She is a supporting character, I guess. I don't know. Terminology's English. Who gets it? Anyways, Berry Punch is the lovable drunk who's also been called something else. We don't talk about that other name here. But Berry Punch is the life of the party. She loves to get drunk. I believe the whole theme started from her just guzzling an entire punch bowl straight from the bowl itself. And I think it's the Quinceañera episode. Gotta forgive me, my taco's a little bit rusty here. But yeah, so they do that. I believe that's where it came from. Correct me if I'm wrong, ponies. Just go ahead and comment it down below. I'm sure you'll do it. But I think that's where it came from. And people have loved her ever since. You know, they've given her daughter Ruby Pinch. I don't think it's canon, but they have had her as a single parent, obviously an alcoholic. Some people take it a little bit lighter with glorious comedy that's just wonderful to read. And some people have taken it a little bit darker with her alcoholism spiraling out of control and sending her into depths of depression. This fandom, I love it for its contrasting darkness and lightness. It's just great to see these two things mix all around, all revolving around the same character. It's great. Number 2, Moonlight Raven. Yeah, we're getting the edgelord territory here. Do you guys remember? I believe it is the first episode where Rarity has her store in Canterlot, right? And they have these two ponies who are like, one's all emo and goth and the other one is happy and sunshines. And a lot of people naturally gravitate to the more edgy character. There's a lot of young kids in the fandom, as there should be. The show was meant for 7-year-olds to begin with, but they love it. You know, they love their shadow characters, their dark, moody, emo, scene gothic characters. They're still in that rebellious stage. But she doesn't really have a personality outside of being edgy, and I've seen some people write stories where they've taken that to the extreme, which is her just trying to make her life seem way more exciting than what it is, because human life is actually pretty boring. There's what do we have that's exciting? Taxes? TPS reports? For the vast majority of us out there, our lives are pretty mundane, and she kind of makes everything to be this huge ordeal, simply to spice up her life. And the number 1 spot goes to Coco Pomona. Yes, Coco, I think, is kind of it's a little bit popular. It's a little bit more popular than I probably should be making it for a number 1 spot. Waifus are, of course, gauged solely on how rare they are, just like Pepe's. Kill me now. But Coco Pomona is something that the fandom has fell in love with. She is an adorable little pone who's painfully oblivious at times, and it's just great. I love her. She does have some amazingly cute scenes. She's treated as a cute little character. She hasn't had a main episode per se. There is one where Applejack and Rarity are helping her set up some sort of fashion show because she's sick, but other than that, she's been a one-shot pony. I think we've seen her just twice so far, but both times she's been adorable. And she started off as not really a villain, but an assistant to the villain, and she turned around and, you know, she helped Rarity in the end, and it was great. The redemption was great. It always seemed like she never wanted to go along with said plot. She was always kind of this shy, follow the crowd, follow whoever's the leader in the group kind of pony, and people naturally gravitate to that because they feel like they want to protect her, or that it's just like adorable that she's so vulnerable or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what it is that drives people to gravitate to those characters, just like what makes those mom-like characters feel like moms, you know? But that is going to do it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below if you had any ones that you wished were on this list, or any ones that were your favorites that were on this list, or if you would have changed the order. As always, it's been Faith or Moliminous. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Woo!